Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is our Rice News analyst, Emmanuel Ufeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Victoria Tundu MQ Abiola.
Good morning.
Yes.
Malabite.
Yeah. You forgot that all this while.
Malabite. Great Malabite.
Thank you very much. Not
Once
just a
upon a
regular.
Why is it once upon
No,
a time?
that's not allowed on this program. Can you go ahead?
Ruben,
It's
once
been
a
vetoed.
Malabite, always a Malabite. There is no once upon a time.
Okay, can we face this?
Yes, let's start the review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of record, the lead story. Governors resist Senate. No, we'll start with this day. This day, U.S. cuts off Russia's central bank from dollar transactions. Wants Americans in Russia to leave immediately. Federal government to begin airlifting Nigerians trapped in Ukraine on Wednesday. Switzerland to freeze Putin, others' assets. Russia faces financial meltdown. Ruble crashes as penalties bite its economy. FIFA, UEFA ban Russia. Ukraine calls for immediate ceasefire as talks with Russia open. Now, other newspapers are also reporting the Ukraine-Russia war. The Punch newspaper, federal government to lift 2,000 Nigerians. Evacuation begins Wednesday. Buhari approves funding as federal government tips Air Peace, Max Air, 4 or 5 aeroplanes to evacuate Nigerian refugees, federal government. While the Daily Sun newspaper, also the Russia-Ukraine war, federal government begins evacuation of trapped Nigerians tomorrow. Received 256 Nigerians in Romania, Hungary. Awaits arrival of 200 as 23 undergo documentation. Now, we'll come back to the Ukraine story when we get to the foreign newspapers. But quickly, what other newspapers are reporting. The Guardian newspaper, hurdles as Nigerian companies take over IOC's onshore assets. $105 billion oil gas decommissioning in Nigeria. Others create concern. Shell, ExxonMobil, ENI. Others to sell over $27 billion asset. Worries over weak infrastructure, legal battles amid energy transition. Yes, the Guardian newspaper is reporting that despite the landmark opportunities created from the divestment on onshore assets by the international oil companies, in the oil and gas experts yesterday raised concerns about indigenous firms' preparedness to take over these assets amid lingering challenges. And those challenges are listed as legal battles, decommissioning worth billions of dollars, weak infrastructure, existing battles on general cleanup, and compensation for oil and gas producing communities, amongst others. Now, yes, the PIB has created a great opportunity for, and the IOCs, the international oil companies, are leaving onshore production. Nigerian companies, indigenous companies are taking over. Now the challenges, do they have the capacity to cope? Are they in the process of getting this capacity? We saw what happened in the Aitio oil spill, or gas spill, as it were. So challenges, but they must take the benefit and the burden of these assets they are acquiring. And must prepare, because there can be no excuse that, oh, this is what we inherited or we bought. We did not know what we bought. No. Take the benefits and deal with the burden that comes with those assets. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, 7 days to Buhari's ultimatum. Ministry yet to seal NPA's pilotage contract. Revenue loss hits 102 billion naira. Pre-qualified bidders write president. Seek conclusion of process. No communication from Amechi BPP sources. That's Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Transportation. Now, the Leadership newspaper, students stage nationwide protest, seek end to federal government ASU dispute, barricade entrance to federal secretariat, urge government to honor agreement with union. Federal government ASU resume talks today. We are tired of government promises, says union. Federal government should do what it has to do. Haven't signed MOUs, MOA, Memorandum of Understanding, Memorandum of Action. They should please go ahead and implement some of those agreements they had with the university teachers so that our students who are in public universities will not suffer another prolonged strike like they did when they lost one academic session the last time as we decided to go on a prolonged strike. Now, the Business Day newspaper, governors resist Senate federal government power grab of electricity sector. While the Daily Independent also reporting the same story, governors, minister protest against draft electricity bill. It's illegal to treat federation as single electricity jurisdiction. Governors. Minister says provision diminish powers of the office as coordinator. Now, let's look at the foreign newspapers. Quickly, the Times of UK. Barbaric strikes on Ukraine. Children among dead as cities bombarded. Peace talks failed to reach resolution. Sanctions push Russia economy into crisis. While the Daily Telegraph reporting showed this to Putin. Yes, the child that was killed by missile. Russia accused of war crimes as cluster bombs are allegedly used against Kharkiv. 6-year-old girl dies in doctor's arms as children fall victims of missile. While the Wall Street Journal is reporting as assault intensifies as talk ends. Envoy from Moscow Kiev cite progress, but reach no resolution as fighting escalates. Yes, the Russian invasion of Ukraine still on, more strikes, and of course, the West tightening the noose on the economy of Russia, and before long, they'll be feeling the pinch, cutting the Russian central bank from dollar transactions. In itself would be a very hard one to swallow. But again, if you make war, you should be ready for the consequences, and Mr. Putin should know better. But there were talks between both sides.
And 6 hours.
Yes, as the Wall Street Journal reporting, both envoy from both sides cite progress. No resolution yet. We hope they'll go back and consult with their leaders, come back, and let's hope by the next round of talk, we'll see maybe ceasefire and progress from there. But again, Russia being accused of war crime, allegedly using cluster bombs. Killing children, if you kill children anywhere, it is a war crime, whether it is in Ukraine, whether it is in Palestine or in Syria. They are war crimes, and there should be consequences. Unfortunately, some leaders get away with that.
Fortunately, we don't have time to comment on these topics. I'm told we have to go. But thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni, for the review of top stories in today's newspapers from around the world.